Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special interview here on Ultrasonic Film. I'm being joined by Anthony Michael Hall. Welcome to Ultrasonic Film.
Thank you, James. Good to be with you.
It's great to have you here. Weird Science. I love watching this film. It's a wild cocktail of a movie. What was it like having John Hughes and Joel Silver on the same set? Because I can't imagine two more different sensibilities.
You're very keen observer there. Yeah. You know what? I think that they were, at that time, they had formed a new partnership and they were getting along well, but definitely two powerhouses in different ways. Joel's a great producer and John was just coming into his powers, obviously, as a writer-director, so it was a great pairing.
You're in one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, The Dark Knight. What was it like being on that set with Christopher Nolan and Heath Ledger? It must have been an amazing experience.
Yeah, no, it was. I was really pumped up on that one, James. It was a great honor and a privilege to be a part of. I remember I was shooting The Dead Zone actually in Vancouver, and I flew over to London to begin production on The Dark Knight. And it was an amazing experience, you know, working for Chris and his wife, Emma, his producing partner. Incredible director. I really enjoyed it. And what a great cast. It was just a stellar cast. So to work with Gary Oldman, someone who I admired growing up, and, you know, there was a great cast of actors, and obviously Heath Ledger and the whole team was fantastic. So, but I was always a huge Batman fan, even as a kid. So it was a big deal for me. You know, of all the comic book heroes, I think Batman is the one that resonates.
Now being told that we're cutting to a video GCN has just received.
I'm Mike Engel for Gotham Tonight. What does it take to make you people want to join in? You failed to kill the lawyer.
I've got to get you off the bench and into the game.
Come nightfall, the city is mine, and anyone left here plays by my rules.
Mr. Fox, security is showing a break-in at the R&D department.
If you don't want to be in the game, get out now. But the bridge and tunnel crowd are sure in for a surprise. Ha ha ha
ha. You played the original Rusty Griswold in National Lampoon's Vacation.
You know what I want to do? When I was your age, my dad shared a beer with me, and I thought it was about the best thing in the world. Yeah. Now I have my own family, and, well, we're on our own vacation. And you know something, Russ?
What, Dad?
We're gonna have fun. Have fun. Hey, don't let your mother smell that beer in your breath. She'll take it out on me.
Yeah.
Good talk, son.
Talk, Dad.
What was it like working with Canadian legend John Candy?
But I got to say, he was, as many people know, he was one of the greatest guys ever. He just had a heart of gold. He really honestly enjoyed and loved making people laugh. And that was a great quality that he had, but one of our great talents, you know, one of the many great comedic talents from Canada. So it was an honor to work with him. And then, you know, being in the vacation film, it's really amazing how those films have held up. There's something, you know, really stays true in the hearts of the audience, and people love it. So I'm proud to be Rusty #1.
Nice. We have 5 minutes and then I'm at a loss.
Real smooth, Cliff.
You've talked endlessly, given tons of interviews about The Breakfast Club. You've mentioned that you shot away from Hollywood on location. There was a rehearsal time. It was shot relatively in sequence, and there were many takes incorporating improvs.
7:06. You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to ponder the error of your ways. Any questions?
Yeah. Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
A brain, a beauty, a jock, a rebel, and a recluse.
Can't believe this is really happening to me.
Before this day is over, they'll break the rules.
Chicks cannot hold their smoke. That's what it is.
Bare their souls.
I'm a nymphomaniac. Are your parents aware of this?
Take some chances.
Being bad feels pretty good, huh?
And touch each other in a way they never dreamed possible.
Why'd you do that?
Cause I knew you wouldn't.
The Breakfast Club.
I'm kind of curious because I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but when you were playing a teenager in succession in a lot of these films in the 80s, you were pretty much the age of the characters that you were playing. And you don't see that a lot nowadays. So I'm kind of curious, as an actor, do you ever watch teen movies and go, they're a little too old to be playing that role? Because you're really the one guy that could say that.
Yeah. No, you know what? I think this younger generation of talents, across the board, listen, they don't need advice. They're very hip and they know what's going on. But yeah, it was kind of funny. I would joke with my family, it was kind of the puberty on film trilogy, with John Hughes. I had a great honor of working with him and being a part of his world. But it was amazing, if you include Vacation, as you mentioned, James, then I did 3 films after that. So it was really destined. I was really blessed and fortunate to have such a great mentor, a guy that really showed me the ropes and just couldn't have been cooler. He was just the greatest guy to hang out with too. Interpersonally, when we worked on the set, he was awesome. And what he did for me, he did for many of us, many actors in my generation. So I always loved paying tribute to John and acknowledging him for what, the great that he was, and awesome. I wouldn't be here without him. So.
You know why I'm here today? Do you? I'm here because Mr. Ryan found a gun in the locker.
Why'd you have a gun in your locker? What's the gun for, Brian?
Just forget it.
You brought it up, man.
I can't have an F. I can't have it. I know my parents can have it. Even if I ace the rest of the semester, I'm still only a B. And everything's ruined for me.
Brian.
Considering my options,
No, killing yourself is not an option.
Well, I didn't do it, did I? No, I don't think so.
It was a handgun?
No, it was a flare gun. It went off in my locker. It's not funny.
I got to also call attention to something that's really incredibly rare. You're about 15 years old or 16 years old, and Hughes gave you an enormous amount of opportunity to improv, build yourself as an actor, and really bring your charisma out into the roles. You've talked about that in many different interviews before, but I really do want to call attention to it because that's so rare that a filmmaker would have that level of trust in an actor.
That's a great point you're making. I really appreciate that, James. Yeah, absolutely. And it was immediate with John. He really did. He trusted me and I just wanted to please him and make him happy. Honest to God, we felt like brothers from day one. Even at the time, looking back all those decades ago, he was, 35, right? When he's making a film. And here I am, this punk little 15-year-old kid. But there was never that sense of separation. It was just like a big brother that took care of you, looked out for you. And you're absolutely right, James. He would encourage me on the set, and it would be like get his notes, kind of touch base with him between takes. But then he really would cut us loose, and he would encourage us to ad lib and to do different things. And again, not just myself, but a lot of us that appeared in his films. He just created this great working trust, as you said, as a filmmaker. And he loved his actors. And I think despite having great talents as a writer, he was never precious about it. He would always want to embellish it, make it stronger, make it better. So he was always up for, adding something to a scene or changing something if we can make it funnier, which was a great talent as well of his, I believe.
You've delivered many terrific performances, of course, in a lot of the John Hughes films. You're very charismatic, and that definitely kickstarted your career just beautifully. But there's one performance by you that I thought was just absolutely superb, and that is in the TNT film Pirates of Silicon Valley. You got an opportunity to play Bill Gates, and you did a magnificent job playing this individual. Were you hesitant at all to play one of the most powerful, one of the most wealthy men in the world?
I obviously made a mistake. You turn your back and you get whacked. Our guys come back from Japan with this NEC, and it's loaded with Microsoft programs. Your Microsoft programs. They're almost identical to ours.
There may be some similarities, Steve.
Try theft.
Steve, all cars have steering wheels, but no one tries to claim that the steering wheel was their invention.
What is this? This is like doing business with, like a praying mantis, huh? You get seduced and then eaten alive afterwards?
Get real, will you? You and I are both like guys that had this rich neighbor, Xerox, that left the door open all the time, and you go sneaking in to steal the TV set. Only when you get there, you realize that I got there first. I got the loot, Steve! And you're yelling? That's not fair! I wanted to try to steal it first. You're too late.
We're better than you are.
You don't get it, Steve. That doesn't matter.
Well, thank you for your compliment, James. Yeah, it was a daunting task. It was really, but I was really up for it. I remember being really thrilled and excited when I got the part, and I just wanted to get my hands on everything I could read. So I read all the biographies on Gates and did my research. And after a while, I probably sounded like a Microsoft employee. I had done a lot of research on the company, and that was a great privilege and an interesting, challenge as an actor all those years ago. It was a good TV film. And then Noah Wyle, of course, played Steve Jobs, and he was a good guy to work with. But we had a great director on it, Martin Burke, who was a Canadian from Toronto, and he did a great job with that film. So that was an interesting project. Yeah.
In all the roles that you've done in the many decades of your career, what has been among the most challenging? What is something you really had to sink your teeth into to be able to do?
Well, playing Gates was certainly one of them. Let me see. I think that one kind of stands out as a challenge. Doing the Dead Zone was a great challenge. I was a huge Chris Walken fan, and I wanted to obviously create my own version of the character, but that was an incredible experience. We had just a fantastic crew up in Vancouver, and we really, I thought, hit a nice stride with that series. I mean, it's going on 20 years ago now, but it ran for 5 or 6 seasons. We did 80 episodes of it, and it was really a great challenge. I think both technically and then also, just as an actor. In some episodes, I would play multiple characters, as Johnny Smith, and just great material to work with. The source material was Stephen King, one of his great books. So that also stood out. But I think there's always challenges. I think each job brings different opportunities and challenges. Those are a couple that stand out in my career.
I had the perfect life until I was in a coma for 6 years. And then I woke up and found my fiance married to another man. My son doesn't know who I am. Everything has changed, including me. One touch, and I can see things. Things that happened, things that will happen. You should see what I see.
I want to thank you very, very much for joining me here on the show. I really do appreciate it, Anthony Michael Hall. I have one final note. We actually met about 20 years ago in Vancouver. You may not remember this, but at Robin Williams' Live on Broadway rehearsal show, you were coming out of that performance, and my buddy knew your buddy, and we said hello to each other years ago.
That was a great show. Obviously, he was one of our great talents, Robin, right? I mean, he's so beloved. He was awesome. But I remember that day. That was a great show. I remember before I let you go, he had one great joke that, and I'm sure you'll remember this one. And it was a great wink to Canadians about America. He goes, yeah, Canada, it's like living in a loft. Canada's up in the top floor of the loft looking down at America like, what the hell's going on down there? Well, I did not deliver that with Robin's flair, but he was just a legend. He was great, but that was a fun show. So awesome. Good to see you again then, Jay.
Well, thank you. And thanks so much for this interview. I really do appreciate it. Do you take care?
Right on, man. Thank you. Back to you, James. Thanks.
Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain, and an athlete,
and a basket case,
a princess,
and a criminal.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Don't